God.
This is the tightest Bassmaster angler of the race we've ever seen heading into the St. Lawrence River, which is the final event of the year, the 2026 Bassmaster Series. Drew Cook, Trey McKinney, Cory Johnston, all separated by like 2 points, almost nothing, going into smallmouth Disneyland. So the question is, who actually wins it, and who do you pick in fantasy fishing to make sure you don't tank your season right at the end? Well, let me show you.
So comment down below, who is your pick to win AOY, and who's going to win this event? Are they the same person?
Before we get into that, we're going to take a quick look at the leaders in the Beat HellaBass group going into the final event. For the traditional game, Darius, D-King, Bullfish holding on to a ever so slim lead over Lunker City. And then Drain the Lake, A. Kelly, BY80K. It's got about a 90-point lead, Cyclone 20. So and there's some other guys in both those that still have a shot. So good luck to all of you who are going to win that $100 gift card at the end of the year. We're going to get right into the picks. We're going to do the traditional fantasy fishing game, Drain the Lake, and the pick'em. There's still prizes to be won in all of those leagues. Finish strong. Me, I had a pretty big event at Champlain. Bumped me way up 93 point percent. So we're going to continue to hopefully get that trend here. As you're playing, are you playing to hold on to a lead? Do you need to make big gains to win your league? Or are you just trying to get like a really good score in this event to maybe win some individual prizes? So consider that when you're picking your picks. So let's start with Bucket E. By the orange percentage here, so Cooper Gallant getting a lot of love, and that does make sense, almost 70%. Other anglers to maybe look at here, Nick Trim's having a pretty good Bassmaster Open right now. Matt Messer pretty good with the front-facing sonar, which is the front-facing sonar event. They are taken out of Clayton, New York, so they are much closer to Lake Ontario, so expect a lot of the field to be out in the lake. There are some guys in this bucket that absolutely need to catch them to stay in the Elite Series, and some rookies that need to have some good events to make sure they don't fall too far behind going in their sophomore season. Greg DePalma's done well here, mostly up out of Waddington, but he's got some experience here. So if you're looking for a sneaky pick, I'd go Aaron Jagfield or Matt Messer. But if you want a safe pick, like me, I'm going Cooper Gallant. He does have an 80-something finish, but that was due to being late. Bucket D, Polinick getting a lot of love. And Polinick used to be a can't miss on this system. Used to be a winner, top 10. He has 2 last finishes in the 90s. Not saying he won't catch them, but he's not the safe pick he used to be. Evan Kung, back-to-back 20th place finishes Bassmaster Elite and Bassmaster Open from Ontario. Pretty good on smallmouth. Pretty good with the front-facing sonar. He needs to catch him to stay out of elite trouble here, but he definitely needs to catch him. So Evan Kung, a guy that needs it, and a good matchup here. Tucker Smith, pretty good with front-facing sonar. Bo Browning needs to catch him again. He needs to make up a few points to stay alive. Sam Hangy, one of the guys that's young, good with front-facing sonar. Palmer's had good tournaments here. John Cox has done well in the system, but I feel like further up when they're in Messina or Waddington is a better fit for him. But me, I'm going to go Tristan McCormick. He says this is his favorite fishery. He did well in Bassmaster Open. He's had some good college events here. So I'm going to go a little bit lower sneaky percentage here and try to make up some ground with Tristan McCormick in Bucket D. Bucket C, we got a couple of smallmouth assassins at the top. Taco Ito, Kuyo Fujita. You can't go wrong with any one of those. Kyle Patrick coming off a good Champlain, New York event. Red Wine has done well here. Felix super consistent here. Emil Wagner. We're getting to this section where a lot of these guys could catch them. Chandler Hughes had good tournaments here. Gore, Will Davis Jr. There's a lot of good options here, but I am going to go Kuyo Fujita here. I just got a good feeling about that. Moving on to Bucket B. Gussie getting a lot of love, and he's been pretty consistent. Mostly cash checks here. Never had super high finishes, but he's always done pretty well. Easton Fothergill getting a lot of love. Should be a good matchup on skill, but there is no real track record here for data. Robert G, right in the mix last time they were there. Dakota Eber, pretty good pick. He's actually got a ton of MLF experience here, so he could be a really good pick. I'm going to go Jacob Fouts. He was late at Champlain, cost him a good tournament. Usually when he's got a little grudge, a little chip on his shoulder, he fishes the best. And he's had some really big bags start out tournaments here and then kind of faded. I think he puts together a good tournament, makes the final day. Same with Bryant Smith. So if you're looking for a lower percentage guy here, Bryant Smith, I would look at him this week in Bucket B. Finally, Bucket A. You got both the Johnstons at top. You can't miss with either one of those. Trey, McKinney in the Angler of the Year mix with Cory, Johnston, Drew Cook. They're all right up there percentage-wise. All good picks. If you're looking for somebody not in that dogfight, Jay Shakur is one here before. Pretty good track record. Fisher Anaya needs to catch him pretty good to win, chalk down Caleb Hudson and Rookie of the Year. But, probably the sneakiest low percentage, 1.2%. Patrick Walters, his 1 year. I think he's got the biggest weight overall, if not pretty close. And he's just got, he had some tough years in his first early, but he figured out how to catch smallmouth up north. And he's been real strong as of late up there. So definitely some good options here. So I would say sneaky pick Patrick Walters, but I'm going to go with Chris. A little bit better percentage. He doesn't have to worry about Angler of the Year. He's probably a little bit better to win it, unless he helps his brother out. Yeah, in the end, either one of the Johnsons is a pretty safe pick. And if you want to be sneaky, go Patrick Walters. Let's go look at Drain the Lake. So if you got any good anglers left you saved up, this should be pretty easy to pick them at this point. I saved both the Johnstons. I saved Evan Kung, Taku Idu, Jay Shakur, Alex Redwine, Brian Smith, Jacob Fouts, all for this event here. And I got a couple. Dakota Ebert could be a good pick. I might even consider, you know what? This is not what I put in my article, but I'm putting Ebert in instead of Brian Smith. So there you go. Let's go do some pick'em and wrap this up and get you on your way so you can enjoy the tournament and get your team in. Pick'em, a much tougher game than you'd think. See, I've got 31 points, which is still like almost 80%. All right, McKinney versus Cook. McKinney's a little better with the the technology. If it was early in the year where there was more side fish, I go Drew Cook, but I'm going Trey McKinney. I think Fisher Anaya beats Caleb Hudson here, but Caleb Hudson gets enough points to hold him off in the tournament and win Rookie of the Year. Chris or Cory, I'm going to double down on Chris. Atkins versus Edu. Never bet against Smallmouth Disneyland. Bo Browning versus Summerall. Caleb's got a better track record here. Bo Browning might be a little better with the sonar. They're both probably going to try to catch him on a chatterbait. That's a tough pick. I think we'll go Summerall. Classic Bubble, Schmidt versus LaHue. I think LaHue's just got the stronger track record here. Former champ Shakur versus Walters. Both guys have won with over 100 pounds. Out of Clayton. Walters, shorty short shorts. There you go. That's the picks. Oh, tiebreaker, I think it's going to be right over 100 pounds again. 101, 102, 105, 106, somewhere in there. I think 111 was like the big one from Patrick Walters. But, as long as they get good weather, the wind isn't too bad, I think all these guys will be going to the lake. We're going to see some massive bags in this tournament. If you're sick and tired of talking about fancy fishing, you'd rather just see some good old-fashioned tournament fishing, check out this video on the screen right here next.